Echo Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, they.
And good day, everybody. Welcome to the Padres versus Dodgers Talking Friars pregame show for July 2nd, 2022. I'm your host, Ben Fadden, coming to you a few hours before the Padres take on the Dodgers tonight. Padres are coming off two straight losses to the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. They have not won a game yet at Dodger Stadium. This is going to be their third try so far this season. Joe Musgrove pitched well on Thursday. Blake Snell pitched well yesterday, but the offense has scored, I think, a combined 2 runs in these last 2 games in this series, and that's the big story. And one of those things to watch for going into tonight's game with Yu Darvish on the bump. I think Darvish can pitch well, but will this Padres offense be able to just give their pitching staff some run support? The bullpen is in pretty good shape. You had Tim Hill and Craig Stammen pitch last night, about 30 pitches for both of them. So they won't pitch today, but pretty much everyone else should be available. Bob Melvin talked about Nick Martinez being available in his press conference after the game yesterday and saying how the bullpen will be in better shape today because Nick Martinez is going to be available. So we'll see what role Martinez has. I assume that he will pitch today after Yu Darvish. I don't know if it'll be directly after Yu Darvish, but I assume that he'll pitch at some point in relief today. And then Rogers hasn't pitched. Garcia's not pitched in a while either. So they are good to go. Chris Matt as well, I would think. 13 pitches on Thursday night. So 4:15 is the first pitch. It's not on Bally Sports San Diego. So for anyone that's going to turn it to Bally Sports, not the channel. Fox, Big Fox. That is the channel. Don Orsillo and Mud, they are not going to be on the call. I assume that it's Joe Davis who took over the lead play-by-play duties because Joe Buck went to ESPN for Monday Night Football. So I think it'll be him and then maybe John Smoltz. I think that's the big duo that they have. So Dodgers Padres at 4:15 on Fox. Ken Rosenthal will be the sideline reporter, and he had some interesting news today or reporting about Tatis and Musgrove. I put it out on my Twitter account at Talking Friars. I have in-game highlights there as well. I think it's a great resource for Padres fans. Um, but he talked about today in the Athletic, I believe, in a column or just some notes about Tatis potentially playing the outfield. He kind of had to. He definitely was reaching for an answer, but he explained why. And Grisham, the center field production's not great. Kim would be able to play shortstop, and Tatis replied back, "Hey, to this effect, hey, I want to win games. If that's where they're going to put me, then I'll play there. I'm open to it. I've been shagging out there. I think it's definitely an intriguing possibility. I think you could see that happen, especially if it's late July after the All-Star break, and Hassan Kim gets out of the All-Star break hot, and they want to keep him at shortstop. And if Grisham continues to be cold, I know he homered last night, but if he continues to be at the bottom of the order, just not be that 2020 Grisham, then you could definitely see that because obviously Jose Zokar playing center field every day. I don't think that's their best option either if Tatis is going to play short. And if Tatis plays, it could be short or the outfield, but any position in the field instead of DHing. I'm sure he'll DH some days when he returns. But if he if he doesn't DH, then that allows for Luke Voigt's bat to be in the lineup, because they're still going to start Eric Hosmer some days at first base. Today, which is great news. I think. Well, maybe it's great news. Eric Hosmer is not in the lineup. He made another bad play yesterday at first base. He made a good grab and then he just fumbled it. But he's not in the lineup. Voigt's at first. Alfaro is DHing. The reason why I say maybe it's a good thing that Hosmer's not in the lineup today is because I looked at the matchups, and Eric Hosmer in 19 career at-bats against Tyler Anderson, who's the Dodgers starter today, he's hitting 316 off of him with 3 runs driven in, which is the most of any Padre. Manny has 16 at bats against Anderson, and he's hitting 188. Jake has 12 at bats. He's hitting 167. So the guys with the biggest sample size, Hosmer is doing the best off of Anderson in terms of the old school stats, right? So I don't know if it was a planned off day or what, but he is not in the lineup tonight. But the Padres lineup, it's Profar leading off. Manny is hitting second. Cronenworth is hitting third, which I like, to be honest. Voit hitting fourth. Alfaro hitting fifth. Nola hitting sixth, catching, which tells me this is what, 3 straight days that Nola's been catching. So, um, or was it 3 straight? No, no, no. No, Alfaro got hurt in Arizona. Yeah, I think it's 3 straight days for Nola starting at catcher. So they're not willing to put Alfaro behind the plate yet. Last night when Snell was pitching, it wasn't a surprise that Nola was catching him instead of Alfaro because we know that Snell has a lot of breaking balls in the dirt. So that's probably not smart to have Alfaro on his knees all the time, right? When the knee is what's bothering and that right knee. But he is DHing tonight. Kim is at shortstop batting seventh. Grish is batting eighth, playing center field. And then Jose Azocar is batting ninth, playing right field. For the Dodgers, uh, I'll read the lineup, but it looks pretty much the same. Trey Turner's leading off, Freddie Freeman, and then Will Smith. Max Muncy hit a home run last night. He's hitting fourth. Justin Turner hitting fifth, hit 2 bombs Thursday night. Bellinger homered last night. He's hitting sixth. That was off Stammen. I understand the frustration with people who are mad that Craig Stammen was put in a tie game. But when you look at the Padres bullpen situation, sure, you could have put Hill in, or they put Hill in after. You could have put Chris Matt in, but that's back-to-back days. Martinez was not available, from what it seems like, according to Bob Melvin. You want Ray Kerr, who's the last guy in the bullpen pitching in that situation, and they wanted to save Garcia, Rogers, definitely for if they had a lead. That's what Bob Melvin was saying. So when you narrow down all those options, who you're going to go to? Blake Snell was already at over 100 pitches. You got to go to Stammen. Getting back to the Dodgers lineup, Jake Lamb batting seventh. He's DHing. Chris Taylor's in right field. He's batting eighth. And then Gavin Lux, I like to call him Gavin Sucks. He is playing left field, batting ninth. So those are the lineups tonight for the Padres and the Dodgers. Again, the big headlines for the Padres tonight in terms of the lineup. Manny's playing third. He is in it, batting second. And Eric Hosmer is not in it, despite batting over 300 against Tyler Anderson in his career. Getting to the pitching matchup, Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Last time out, 6 innings, gave up 3 runs against the Phillies. I thought he pitched pretty good, 102 pitches. The start before that, he pitched tremendous. The start before that, he pitched tremendous. June 13th and June 20th, he combined to pitch 15 innings, giving up just 2 earned runs, striking out 12 batters, and walking just 2 guys. He walked 1 guy his last time out, like I just mentioned. And so he's going to give you I think you can expect a start kind of like how Joe Musgrove had on Thursday night. Hopefully he doesn't give up 2 home runs, but definitely a really good quality start. And you hope that he goes longer than what Blake Snell went last night. He's more efficient. You also hope that the umpire doesn't squeeze him like Blake Snell was getting squeezed last night. I'm sorry, he was. For any Dodgers fans, he was getting squeezed. There were pitches that were down in the zone that were strikes. I posted one of those to Justin Turner where he should have got out of the inning, and he struck him out like twice, and instead it was a walk. There were times where, Gonsolin on the mound, and he would get that same pitch. He would throw that same pitch, and it would be called a strike, even though the previous inning, Blake Snell didn't get that pitch. So the umpire there, hopefully it's not as bad tonight as it was last night. And Yu Darvish can benefit from actually throwing strikes and those pitches being called strikes. And Tyler Anderson on the other side of things, there was that one outing. Was it against the Angels? I think it was against the Angels where, he went 8 1/3 innings on June 15th, gave up 1 earned run. He had a no-hitter going into the 9th inning. Shohei Ohtani got him, I believe, a triple, and had 123 pitches. And he hasn't been the same since. He's given up a combined 7 earned runs in his last 2 starts, 11 innings, 15 hits. He's not walking guys, 2 walks, but he's not striking guys out either. Um, and previous starts, just looking at his game logs, it's usually 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts. Last 2 times out, 2 strikeouts each. So he's throwing strikes. Can the Padres capitalize on that? We will see. But yeah, gave up 10 hits last time out against Colorado, in Colorado. I know it was in Colorado, so maybe the altitude. And they have a pretty decent top of that lineup, but the bottom half isn't that great. Alan, I just saw this chat. Sorry. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. Anyone else that is in the chat here, feel free. Any questions, comments, feel free to drop them in the chat. Any word on Grisham replacement? What do you mean? Like performance wise? No. He's gonna be the center fielder. Esther Ruiz is down in the minor leagues. Azokar, when there's a righty on the, or excuse me, when there's a lefty on the mound, like there is today with Tyler Anderson, you're gonna see Azokar probably playing right field, and that's exactly what's happening today. Azokar's in right field. Grisham's in center field. Grisham's gonna be at the bottom of the lineup. There's not really this like solution to replace Trent Grisham or anything like that. He homered yesterday. Yeah, he crushed it, but he stood there and stared. I mean, I like it because it was against the Dodgers, but my uncle was at my house earlier today, and he was making the point like, dude, you're hitting a buck 66 and you're staring at it like you're hitting 300. So I understand that viewpoint. He did smash it last night, but no, he's not been great, obviously, offensively this season. Going into tonight, he's hitting 192. He does have, let's see, he's tied for the fourth most amount of home runs on the team among the starting lineup guys today. Machado has 12, Voit has 9, Profar has 8, and a lot of those were at the beginning of the season. Cronenworth has 7 with Grisham. And Grisham has 29 RBIs. Ha-Seong Kim almost has as many RBIs as Grisham does. But no, to answer that question, Alan, there's no replacement for Grisham. No. Tatis has been shagging out in the outfield. I don't know what he's doing today, but I know he was shagging out in the outfield yesterday, the whole time during batting practice, from what I read. So I definitely think I mentioned it earlier on this pregame show. I think that Tatis in the outfield definitely is a viable option when he returns. Maybe not full time, but if you don't want Grisham's bat in the lineup, if you don't want Tatis diving all over the place, I know he can dive in the outfield, but there's just less action in the outfield than there is in the infield. You want to take it easy, you can put him in center field and just don't bat Grisham, right? That could happen when Tatis returns, but that's still a month away. So no, for a replacement, that's a month away. No. Yeah, Justin asked, why does the media all of a sudden talk about Tatis playing center because Kim has been so good? But wouldn't that be the same thing essentially? What do you mean? What do you mean it would be the same thing? Like Tatis replacing Grisham? He says Kim's bat sucks, defense is good, Grisham's bat sucks. Oh, okay, that's what you mean. So yeah, you're saying that Kim's bat sucks. So you're pretty much having Grisham play shortstop, is what you're saying. Like in terms of skill sets. Defensive first shortstop, and then you're putting Tatis in center. Defensive first center fielder, you'd have Tatis at shortstop and Kim not playing. So yeah, I understand that. But I think, how can I say this? I think that they believe Tatis. I mean, Ken Rosenthal was saying today on Fox Sports 1 that some Padre people think that Tatis has like this gold glove potential in center field, even because of how great of an athlete he is. I think he still should be the shortstop. You paid him to be the shortstop. And I think he's going to determine what he does long term. But I think, when you come back for like 2 months in a season, which is that's what it feels like it's gonna be, come back for 2 months in a season, and you have Bob Melvin as the manager, he's probably gonna be like, "Let's do what's best for the team here. You're not here the entire year. Let's, you know, we've already got a full team here. Uh, jump on it. Not really asking you to carry us. You're gonna be a big bat, but in terms of defense, just fit in." I think that's what Tatis wants. Like, he just wants to win. So wherever Bomel wants him to go, he's gonna go. But yeah, it's interesting. I guess, Justin, to answer that and elaborate more on that, with Kim's defensive first, Grisham defensive first. Okay, then if you're gonna have Tatis play one of those positions, you got to ask yourself, if you're Bomel, if you're the Padres, who would I rather have in the lineup then? Would I rather have Kim in the lineup, or would I rather have Grisham in the lineup? Maybe that depends on the matchup. But just talent right now, it feels like I'd rather have Ha-Seong Kim, but it's just too early to be asking that question because we're still a month away from Tatis returning. It's too early to be saying, "Oh, Grisham's should be sitting." Well, there's no like big replacement for him for another month if the Padres decide to have Tatis go play center field, right? Mr. Robot asks, "What does Darvish need to do to get us a win?" What Snell and Musgrove have been doing. I mean, the Dodgers lineup's good. The Dodgers pitching is good. But Tyler Anderson's probably the weakest link the Padres are going to be facing this weekend. I think Kershaw starts tomorrow for the Dodgers. Then they've already faced Gonsolin, um, and Mitch White made the Padres look like a AAA team a little bit. So this is going to be the easiest matchup. So let's say that the Padres offense can get like 3 runs on the board off of Anderson. That's not a guarantee, but let's say that. Give a quality start, and there you go. You're right in the game. They've been in the game the last 2 games. I know yesterday they weren't in the game the entire game, pretty much like they were on Thursday, but they've been in these games. So I don't think we should get discouraged because of, in terms of the Padres' ability to contend with the Dodgers. Like, you can get discouraged and be mad about the offense. I was too. I am still, because I know it needs to be better. And there's just not enough power in it, I don't think, right now. Grisham's not going to be homering every series. You know, he's not going to be hitting 428-foot bombs off of the Dodgers all the time, right? There just needs, he's like their 8-9 hitter, so they need more power in the lineup, no doubt about that. But if Darvish can give a quality start, Tyler Anderson's not the Dodgers' best pitcher. The Padres can have a really good chance of winning this game. Marco, I totally disagree with this. Eventually, Tatis will move to either first base or DH because he's injury prone. He's not going to move to really. You think Fernando Tatis Jr., one of the most athletic guys in baseball, is going to be playing first base? Really? That's a dumb comment. Even if he's injury prone, they're not doing that. All right. Again, this game's on Fox, 97.3 The Fan, 4:15 is the first pitch. Padres are in second place, 3.5 games back of these very Dodgers. Darvish against Tyler Anderson. I already went over the bullpen situation, I believe. Hill, 29 pitches yesterday. Stammen, 34. Everyone else should be available. What to watch for? Manny, he's starting tonight after pinch hitting. Can he make more consistent content? Not content. Contact. He struck out last night in his 8th inning pinch hit appearance. He struck out 3 times the night before that after delivering in his first at bat back. I don't want to bash Manny. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying I think he needs to have more consistent contact for the Padres to be in a good spot to win this game tonight and tomorrow. Because he's a power threat. He's one of the few power threats in the lineup, right? So when he's not making contact, that's one less of your very few power threats that you have in the lineup out of it, right? Like tonight, they have 1, 2, 3. They have 3 power threats. I'm not really counting Crony as a power threat. He can homer. He's had 7 this year, but like guys when they come up to the plate, you think power. Manny, Voit, and Alfaro. Those are the three guys. And if Manny's not making contact and he's striking out multiple times, now you got two. That makes it. I'm not. I'm not saying that the Dodgers, if Manny's, that they'll pitch around him or he's an easy out. I'm not saying any of that. But putting the bat on the ball. I mean, obviously that's better than not doing that. I feel like I'm like a little league coach. And then getting guys in scoring position, obviously. I mean, you had one player last night get into scoring position when you don't include the Grisham home run because he didn't just get into scoring position, he was running around the bases, right? Profar, he was the one guy. He doubled twice in his first two at bats. No one else got into scoring position. I get that Tony Gonsolin's great, but you can't expect to beat the Dodgers when you get one guy in scoring position. And like I mentioned earlier, the run support that kind of goes in with runners in scoring position. Get those guys into scoring position and then capitalize on that. They weren't able to capitalize that on Thursday night. They left 8 guys on base. My Padre pick today is going to be Luke Voit. Yesterday was Profar. He went 2 for 4, so I'm 46-26 so far this season in my Padre pregame show pick. I'm picking Voit. Don't really know why. I mean, left versus right. Manny's been struggling for him since he came back after that, week and a half absence from the lineup. Luke Voit hasn't had an at bat off Tyler Anderson, but I do like how I'm seeing Luke Voit swing the bat. Sure, is he going to strike out sometimes? Of course he is, more than sometimes. But maybe he can hit one over the fence tonight. All right, I think that's it in terms of Padres Dodgers stuff I wanted to cover. Any questions? Quan says, is Gosling really that good? Gonsolin, you mean? Yes, he this year he's been really that good. Yes. He's going to be starting the National League All-Star game. Um, Based on numbers. He's the best starter in the National League so far this season. Pretty much the whole year I've been saying Musgrove, but watching Gonsolin last night, I mean, he's been pitching better than Musgrove the whole way of the season. Like, he hasn't had that 6 earned run start like Musgrove had against Philly. That's kind of the difference between the two, right? And it's at Dodger Stadium. I know that Brian Snitker probably doesn't care. He could not care less. But in terms of the guy that deserves it, like with numbers and all that, it's probably Gonsolin. So he's definitely the real deal this year. Marco asks, "What happened to New York Luke Voit though? His approach seems off. He's swinging at everything. I'm so disappointed." Uh, yeah, sure. 2020, he led the league in home runs in that 2-month season. He's a home run hitter. I don't know if his approach hasn't changed since coming over from New York and San Diego. At least the Yankee games that I watched when he was with the Yankees, it's the same approach. He has the leg kick, the big swing. Um, the power is there when he makes contact. I've liked. He's had some long at bats in this series, and I've liked that. He's still walking a good amount too. Not like at the beginning of the year where he's walking like every at bat, but he's still getting on base a little bit. Darth Vader says Ken Rosenthal has on the Athletic that Tatis and Kim has been doing better in his absence at shortstop. What? I don't understand that. Yeah, oh, okay. I know that he has an article on Tatis. We discussed that earlier. So on the replay, just rewind, and I'll definitely talk about it on my series reaction after the game tomorrow. But yeah, it just talked about Tatis potentially playing center field, and we're a month away. And I think that it's a viable option, especially if Grisham continues to struggle because the Padres they don't want to put a Zokor out there every day. All right, I think that's gonna do it. Thank you, Mr. Robot. Great pregame show, he said. Thank you. This was fun. Thank you. This is the July 2nd, Padres Dodgers Talking Friars pregame show. I am your host, Ben Fadden. Thank you so much for watching. Whether that's live, whether it's on replay, thank you for everyone in the chat. Enjoy the game today at Talking Friars on Twitter for the highlights, for the conversation. And I'll see you later. Have a good one, guys.